Have you ever wondered how literature can shape our understanding of the world? What if you could communicate with the same power as the great writers? How can mastering literature and communication skills help you express your thoughts more effectively? In this lesson, you will gain a deeper understanding of literature, including Henley's Invictus, while improving your ability to communicate confidently and clearly. Here are our lesson objectives. First, you have to draw out and interpret the human experience presented in the poem, and next, paraphrase key ideas. Let's talk about the author of the poem titled Invictus that I'm going to discuss in this video. So the author of this poem is William Ernest Henley. He is a renowned poet and editor who was diagnosed with tubercular arthritis during his childhood, and this severe medical condition necessitated the amputation of one of his legs when he was just 12 years old. Now, what do we mean amputation? Amputation is when a part of the body, like for example an arm or a leg, is surgically removed, and this is usually done when a body part is severely infected or diseased, and doctors believe removing it will help save the person's life. And this is exactly what happened to Ernest Henley. Now, while he was recovering from the procedure, Henley turned to writing poetry. Among his many works, his most celebrated poem, titled Invictus, was penned in 1875. Invictus by William Ernest Henley. Let me first read these stanza before I proceed to discussing the first stanza. Out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole, I think whatever gods may be, for my unconquerable soul. Class, let us first discuss the first stanza of this poem and unlock some of the words that are unfamiliar to some. We have here the word pit. So pit here means a large hole in the ground. We also have here the word pole. Pole refers to the extreme ends of the earth, especially the North Pole and South Pole. So here, the poet uses this metaphor to convey the sense of an overwhelming and inescapable challenge, but one that the speaker faces with an unconquerable spirit. Now, the first stanza describes the persona, wherein the persona faces challenges and dark period in life, and despite the pervasive difficulties, the persona expresses gratitude, thankfulness to any higher powers. So as mentioned here, whatever gods, referring to any higher powers for the resilience and strength of their unconquerable soul. So again, these lines convey a sense of resilience and gratitude in the midst of adversity. On to our second stanza. Let me read it. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody but unbowed. Let's proceed to the second stanza of the poem and unlock some of the words that are unfamiliar to some students. You have here the word clutch. So the word clutch means, you have here grasp. Okay, so these words conveys a firm hold or control over one's circumstances. We also have here the word wins. Okay, so wins here conveys a quick, involuntary reaction like a brief emotional or physical pain. Okay, as reflected in this emoji. The reaction and emotion shown by this emoji. We also have here the word bludgeonings. Okay, so this word means battering. This evokes the idea of repeated, overwhelming force or hardship. Another word we also have here, unbowed. Okay, so this word means upright. So these conveys standing firm and unyielding despite the difficulties faced by the persona. Class, reading the second stanza of this poem, what does this mean? What does this stanza imply? What do you think? Do you have any idea? That's right. So in this stanza, the persona describes enduring harsh circumstances without showing outward signs of pain or distress. And despite facing the forceful impacts of chance as described here, the persona's spirit remains unbroken. The persona's spirit remains unbowed as indicated by the metaphorical word bloody head that remains unbowed. So these lines illustrate the speaker's resilience and determination in the face of challenging experiences. Okay, let me first read the third stanza. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade, and yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. For the third stanza, let us unlock the meaning of some unfamiliar words. Let's take a look at the word wrath. So wrath here means anger, intense anger. We also have the word shade. In this context, this word is a metaphor for death or afterlife. We also have the word menace. Okay, menace means threat or danger in this context. For the third stanza, the persona acknowledges that current struggles are filled with anger, as mentioned here, wrath, and tears. Beyond these struggles, there is a fear of death that symbolizes as the shade, as mentioned here in this poem. But even so, the speaker remains unafraid, and the persona recognizes that life brings continuous challenges and dangers over the years. But no matter what comes, they will face it all without fear. So the persona's message is one of the unwavering courage, standing strong in the face of both present difficulties, not only present difficulties, but also face the uncertainties of the future. Okay, class, we are now in the last stanza of this poem, or the fourth stanza. Let me read it. It matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll. I'm the master of my fate. I'm the captain of my soul. So in the fourth stanza, we have here the word straight. Okay, so straight here means narrow. It can also mean tight or difficult. So this is a biblical allusion to the saying, straight is the gate and narrow the way that leads to eternal life. In this biblical context, straight symbolizes a difficult or challenging path that one must follow to reach eternal life. So the persona in this poem uses this reference to convey that no matter how difficult, no matter how challenging the gate of life may be, the persona cannot be stopped. Okay, so let's take a look at another word. So we have here the word scroll. Okay, in this context, scroll means laws or rules. Okay, so the word scroll in the line refers to rules and laws that men must follow. So the persona, in this case, refuses to live by the laws, no matter how much punishment, because the persona is implying that he lives his life on his own. As mentioned here, I'm the master of my fate, the captain of my soul. Let's take a look at how or what does the stanza mean. Okay, so the stanza means that no matter how difficult or how challenging life may be, how many punishments or hardships one might face, the persona remains in control of his own destiny and emotions. He's determined to be the master of his fate, of his own fate, and the leader of his own soul, showing strength and self-determination. As to know if you have really watched and listened to the video discussion, you need to answer the questions that I prepared on Google Classroom. Your answers will serve as your attendance. Thank you for listening. Goodbye for now.